Good morning. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. Please share my channel. Please comment whether you agree with me or not. I love having you here. Thanks for being here. So today I'm going to kind of lighten it up a little bit. I've been talking about kind of deeper subjects that cause a little bit of, maybe division or opposing opinions, I should say. And I just want to talk about something a little more lighthearted this morning. As I was having a conversation with someone who I love and care about, the subject of politics came up. I don't like to bring up politics, but it's a subject that this particular person is passionate about. And they brought something up, and immediately, I don't normally get what you would call triggered, because I'm not all for one side or all for another side. But in this particular instance, I did get triggered, but it wasn't because of any side, red or blue, in politics. It was because I detected lies. I detected misinformation, or I detected that the things that this person was saying were true were absolutely not true. And the person I was talking to wasn't lying. They were believing things that were being said that were proven to not be true. There's a lot of stuff going around in this world, in this environment that we're living in, especially on the political spectrum. There's a lot of news that some news is fact-checked and truthful, and other things are put out there that are found to be absolute BS. And some people will read a headline and just immediately believe what it says. And other people will research it and, or read the rest of the article, or it's called critical thinking. And a lot of people don't get to the point where they're really critically thinking, where they're just kind of reading headlines and running along with a particular narrative that, and I talked about this before, it fits their bias. People, we all have our own biases, and people see what fits their own personal beliefs and biases. So I wanted to talk about, a lot of people are, so anyway, I caught myself getting triggered, and I got escalated, and I didn't like that feeling inside of me. And so I really wanted to dive into how to create peace in a world that is really pushing chaos. The world we live in right now is really, really promoting chaos. It's almost like things are getting stirred up. The snow globe is being shaken. I've talked about this before. But how do we find peace? Inner peace in all this chaos? How can we have the snow globe of the world being shaken, and we're living in it, and still have stability and inner peace? So I wanted to bring up perspectives. The glass half empty and the glass half full is a really good example of human perspective. And human perspective is what determines whether we're going to live in anxiety or fear, or whether we're going to live in peace. It comes from our perspective of life, our perspective of the world, our perspective of the past, of the future, of our perspective of ourselves, and yes, our perspective of God, or whoever it is we call God. And I'm not, this channel is not a Christian channel. This channel is for everybody. So just like the 12-step program does not promote one religion, this channel does not push or promote a particular religion. It's for everyone. So if anyone is a Christian and is offended by the fact that I'm talking to Muslims or Hindus or Buddhists as well, I'm sorry, but not sorry, because I'm wanting to reach everyone. And again, I'm not adopting another religion. I'm not discrediting my religion, Christianity, and saying that other religions are the ones that are right. I'm not falling away from Christ. I'm wanting to be Christ-like, and Christ spoke to everyone. He went everywhere. He dined with everybody. He didn't belong to an exclusive club, and so that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to include everyone in the message, and I don't always give a biblical message. Sometimes I give a practical message here. So not every single thing I say equates to, this isn't a Bible study channel. I do follow Jesus Christ, and I am a Christian. I am, a follower. I love Christ and everything he taught and everything he did, and the Holy Spirit lives in me. But this is not a channel where I'm here to preach and do Bible studies. So I want to make that clear. But this is a practical message. I'm just giving a practical message about perspective and our perceptions and how it can change our reality. And these things are proven by both Jesus and science. So I don't know why I felt like I had to give that whole disclosure, but I guess I felt like I did. So the glass half empty and the glass half full. If I fill a glass, imagine like a glass shaped like a Scotch glass with water halfway up to the top. And one person looks at that and says, oh, your glass is half empty. And another person looks at that and says, your glass is half full. That's a really, really great, it's one of the oldest examples in the book. But it's a really great example of how our perspective can shape our reality. Because if I see my glass half empty, I'm going to be looking around and living my life, and my subconscious is going to be zeroing in on everything that looks empty. I'm going to be focusing on those things, and that's how this works. This is the whole concept of manifestation, is I'm going to be subconsciously noticing more things that are empty or negative. If I look at that glass and I say, oh, your glass is half full, my attitude towards life is an attitude that has my subconscious noticing all the things that are positives in life. And what we notice, our brains do not process every single detail of every single thing that is actually going on. Our realities are filled with things that our brains filter out. And this is another scientific proven fact. Our brains filter out most of the information that is really there. There's a lot of information out there. And our brains give us feedback on some of it, but not all of it. And what our brains choose to zero in on and focus on is determined by what our hearts, that's what Jesus says, it's in our hearts. What is in the deepest core of us? What is in our subconscious? What resides in our hearts? Who are we? How do we feel about ourselves and everything? What is our core nature, and what is the core belief system that we follow? And that is always operating. That core system of who we are and what we believe to be true is always in here operating. And then what we see and what we notice and what we recognize and what our brains process come from that. That's why Jesus said, and again, this isn't a Bible study, but I will bring up that Jesus did say that it's not about what's in your head that determines your life. It's about what's in your heart that determines not only your life here, but your eternal existence. So what's in your heart is what is that core. The core of who you are and what you believe. Now, we were all raised with certain biases. We were all raised to believe certain things about the world. We were all raised to believe this is scary, that's bad, don't touch a stove, it's hot. Don't talk to strangers. We were either told that we're really good or we're really bad, or, and somewhere in between. We were basically programmed with particular biases about everything, ourselves and everything else, and that's what creates our core. Now, if we notice that we are looking at glass is half empty, we're going to be triggered by things that look scary in the world. We're going to see the world as a scary place and that everything is out to get us. And this is an extreme example, but if you're on the extreme end of that spectrum, then everything is going to look scary and you're going to be just afraid of everything, and that's going to cause anxiety. If you were raised to be calm and collected and to look around the world with wonder and to think, wow, this is a playground, this place is awesome, the world is my oyster, I can do anything I put my mind to. And if you're raised with that kind of positivity, and that's what's programmed in you, then things aren't going to look scary, and you're going to be able to be objective, and you're going to be able to process things in a way that doesn't trigger you and cause anxiety and fear. And the cool thing about it is we can change that. We have the ability, if we catch ourselves being a glass half empty kind of person, we have the ability to reprogram and to change that. And the Bible is one way. Reading the Bible it's a spiritual book, and the Bible helps us to see things on a level that gives hope. The Bible is a book of hope. However, if somebody's inner core is negative, they can see the Bible as a book of really, really awful, horrible things too. So it's really a matter of how we interpret it. But how can we change what the core of us contains? We practice. That's how. We get to practice every day. We can practice having a perspective that supports the positives. We can practice loving and being kind. We can practice believing and convincing ourselves that this world is a beautiful place, not a scary place. We can practice these things. And as we practice these things, we create habits. And as we create habits, that's how we can start to reprogram what's going on inside. Practice. Some people talk about meditation and meditating, and it's not necessary to sit in a dark room and sit in a certain position and put your hands out and say Om, and all those things. Now, some people can do that. I'm not making fun of that, but it's not necessary. Meditation is simply letting go of all your biases, just letting go of all the thoughts that are bombarding you, and just being still. And when a negative thought comes in, taking it captive. The Bible says, take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. So when you take the thought captive and you say, okay, what is this thought? Kind of analyze it. Is this a good thought, a negative thought, a bad thought? Is this something that supports me and supports everyone and supports the all and the light? Or is this something that is designed to come in and cause problems? We take that thought and we can either keep that thought or we can toss it and say, this isn't mine. Sorry, you're not for me. And one of the things about meditation is that that's what we do. Meditation isn't emptying yourself of all thoughts. It's just sitting still and allowing whatever comes in, allowing yourself to recognize what's coming in, to be conscious of what's coming in, and then you start to become down. You go down into your subconscious. When you're meditating, it starts out with conscious thoughts, and then your mind just starts to kind of wander off into kind of it drifts. And emptying yourself of all biases and not allowing those negative biases to be fed to you and discarding them and recognizing them and discarding them, that is really what I've discovered to be the key to seeing life as a wonderland instead of a scary place. And that when we see things as, everything is designed to support us, even the bad things that happen are somehow designed to create a scenario that is in support of all of, what's going on here, all of mankind, all our souls. Our souls are being supported by good things happening, blessings and challenges. And I always say everything is either a blessing or a lesson. So if you look at life like everything is either a blessing or it's there to, as a challenge to create an opportunity to grow in positive ways, then you don't see bad things as they're going to crush you and annihilate you and end you. You see bad things as things that can potentially grow you. So when we look at life that way, it's just a great way to put a spin on, on negatives and avoid that constant feeling of anxiety. We start to live in more peace. We live in joy. We walk in the knowledge that we're always supported. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share. I also wanted to add that support isn't singular. It's not just us. We are connected. Everything is connected and we are one. And so to understand that we are one with everything and all, and that it is our, I almost said duty and responsibility, but it's really the joy of our life to be connected with everyone and to be in support of everyone else as well. So that when we're adding positive things to the world and to life, that also brings back reciprocal joy to us as too. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share. That's it. I'm going to get into the office, but I hope everyone's having a great day, and I will see you next time.